Okay, well, in the beginning, I would like to thank you for taking the risk, as you so said, and posting the video. Uh, it was actually pretty entertaining, and I appreciate the questions and everything. Um, Let me see. Basically, yes, of course, I respect and believe that you and we all have a right to freedom of speech, as well as freedom of religion and all the other beautiful freedoms that America gives us. And I would like to start off with just to say, well, you said something about how if the world or if the Christians followed Jesus, then the world would be a better place. I agree to some extent, but if every man followed Jesus, then we wouldn't be here. Jesus definitely was a virgin. So, but yeah, next topic. You were talking about how the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam married young, and I want to touch on that. First and foremost, Aisha radiallahu anha was 9, and he did not marry her and consent. You know what I mean? Like how do you call it? I don't know what the word is, but they didn't have sex, of course, until she was a woman. After her puberty, um, and like you said, back then times were different, and the whole thing is the point why he married her is the same reason why he married every other wife that he married, and the same reason why he did every single thing throughout his life. What he did, like say for instance, the Christians when you guys see like Jesus was a virgin when he died, so when in order to become a preacher or a pastor, you have to be a virgin, or not even a virgin. You have to just stop having sex completely, because that's what Jesus did. But in order to eradicate this thinking, God gave the prophet, you know, a like guidelines. Like he had to live his life a certain way so he can show people everything that they're able to do and the best way to live. Now he married young. He married his first wife, who was his favorite. His best wife. You know what I mean? Like if you get a wife and she dies and you marry again, that was his first wife and she was the favorite. The best. Actually, we call her the mother of Islam, the mother of the Muslims. She was his favorite wife. She was actually a lot older than him, and he had a wife that was a Christian. He had, he married different women to show the kinds of women that you're allowed to marry, young, old, what religion, that you're allowed to marry outside your race, things like that. Um, and the thing you were discussing about how in Islam it's permissible to beat your wives, and I just want to this is a very big misconception. I see what you're saying in the Quran. I'm going to get to that in a second, but I want to see about the Sahih Muslim hadith that you were talking about. I don't really know that. I went and I didn't see it. So all I know, yes, he did uh, hit one of his wives, if you want to call it that. He actually tapped her lightly with uh, I don't know what they call them in English. They call them sawak. It's like a toothbrush from back in the day, uh, and just like a piece of wood that you brush your teeth with. And she was, they were arguing. She was obviously being very disrespectful, and what I mean? Like, no matter what, if you love somebody and you're supposed to be mutual respect between each other, if your wife is cursing and screaming at you, it's going to upset you. I don't care what religion or race you are or creed or anything like that. It's upsetting. But anyway, so, yeah, he actually tapped her lightly with this stick. And it's a very small stick, like that long, and it weighs like maybe like 4 ounces. So if you tap somebody lightly with a stick, just on some like chill out, like relax type stuff, I don't think that's considered beating your wife. But uh, everybody has their opinion. Um, you touched on the subject about the way the Muslims feel the people of the book act, or the people how we feel about the people of the book, meaning Christians and Jews. We actually have no bad opinions. See, the whole thing back then, like every prophet, the Prophet Muhammad was getting, treated badly and threw stuff at and spit on and rocks thrown at him and talk bad about. So he was just warning us to be cautious of the people who don't believe. There's nothing wrong. We are actually supposed to become acquainted with you guys. We have to in order to spread the word, we have to have some sort of common ground, which we do. We all believe in God, which is the great thing. You know what I mean? Even in a debate, in an argument, he told us to be polite and calm and not ever get angry and things like that. You also touched on the extremists in Islam. Everybody has extremists. Christians have extremists. Jews have extremists. I mean, if you look, you'll find it. I mean, like, I've seen it. I don't want to name any particular event for argument's sake. You can definitely look, type in extreme Christians in Google. I promise you'll find some things. Um, Basically, uh, that's about it. I don't think you touched on anything else that I can remember. We talked about, the following of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Basically, like I said, his entire life, his whole life, was for us to guide us and to help us to follow everything that he did. And the most, what I mean, from the way to dress to eat to everything has a proper way to do it. The way you even yawn or sneeze, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's there is a perfect way to live, and he lived that perfect way, and our goal is to try to reach that. He was if you did the research on him, he was a very respectful. He was actually the perfect example for mankind. I mean, like, I know. Um, a lot of things can be taken out of context and understood wrongly or differently than what it's supposed to be. But I mean, if you don't understand it, it's of course it's going to be like that. Everybody, you know, will look at it and say, well, means this and this means that, but you're not going to know until you actually, like, learn from somebody who knows. But anyway, that's what he was here for, to guide us, and he was mentioned in the Bible. And basically, like I said, I touched on the marrying young thing, the beating the wives, which is uncalled for, and it's not permissible. Okay. In the Quran, yes, it does say you're allowed to beat your wives lightly. Um, I mean, the way you said it was kind of sarcastic. You were talking how, if they're disrespectful. No, listen, or if they're disobedient. Like, I don't know if you're married or if you have plans on getting married or anything like that. There's in a marriage, there's supposed to be a common, like I said, ground between two people. I mean, and a common understanding. Uh, if God said to follow the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. If he never beat his wives, and that God told us to follow his example, then of course we're supposed to not beat our wives. This isn't, you're talking about something extreme, like, like something that's off the wall, last resort type other stuff, and you got to realize that you might see something your way as other people see it the other way. You're supposed to try to look out your box and see it from the other people's point of view. You might be surprised by what you see. Anyway, this is a long video, and I'm pretty sure you're not gonna watch it all, but I hope you do, and you'll be able to respond to me. Like I said, I really do appreciate you posting your video. Hopefully, from this response and everything, some people will learn some things, and some knowledge will get transferred back and forth. So, thank you again for taking the risk and posting the video. Muslims aren't, gonna come knocking at your door. I know you know that. But like I said, thanks again, and hopefully I'll be waiting for your response. Alright.